So let's try this question. We are on question number 3. So I'll give you a minute to solve. Please solve it and then we are going to discuss. So let's see this question. The film aims to be dreamy and inspiring rag to riches story and a lesson in what greed can do. So it's a story where if you will see, uh, dreamy is something which where everything happens to be positive, right? And it's inspiring. So you can see ad means we are trying to connect to positive ideas. Rag to riches, that means from poverty to richness, right? So you can give time to comprehend the information. But now can you see there's a transition but in the persuade is when you're trying to aim, right? uh, but in the aim of being a dash in preachy fairy tale. So we know preachy is something that is giving you a lesson. So again with and we know that the idea that is going to fit in will be a positive one. So here, since we are able to deconstruct the statement properly, what you can do is you can do the elimination. Autonomous is something which is, this is an autonomous university. That means governed by one own set of rules, right? So auto means self. So autonomous would not be the word, because how can a film be autonomous? Saccharine is something which is positive, sugarly, right? So we can keep this. Uh, Patriotic is showing love towards the nation, towards the nation. So we can't say that the movie is patriotic. So this goes out. Saccharine is something which is sugarly. Sugarly means positive, right? So B we can fit in this blank. Now let's further proceed. What works for the film is dash of characters. So what sort of characters? Here you can't solve the blank. So we would not go for second blank, rather we'll proceed further. Who make their presence felt through excessive food and powerfully loud voices. So that means you can see and again it's a very powerful. That means something which is strong. So foot what? So abhorring is hatred. Okay, abhor means hatred, and nascent is in the early stage. So I'm sure it's easy for you to comprehend that these two cannot be the answers. So we'll pick G. Foot stomping means something that makes an impact, right? Makes an impact powerful. Okay, and this will go, both the ideas will go hand in hand. So for this, we can pick G. Now let's come to the middle blank. What works for the film is dash of characters who make their presence felt through excessive foot stomping and powerfully loud voices. So that means the characters are strong, right? So they are empowered characters, or you can say that the characters would be strong. So it's not essentially needed that you'll fit the precise word, but you know, something that conveys that there were strong roles. So elevation is I got elevated, so it's an increase. Empowerment we can keep. Alienation is separation. Okay, so this also goes out. So for the second blank, we are going to pick E as a final answer. So we can read it. I always say that once you have filled all the blanks, you can read it so that you get the content better. The film aims to be dreamy and inspiring rag to riches story and a lesson in what greed can do. But in the pursuit of being saccharine and preachy fairy tale, something that's too positive, what works for the film? So it's very preachy, it's positive, it's like a fairy tale. What works for the film, the sentence is trying to convey that the characters were strong, empowerment of characters, they were given good roles, who make their presence felt, and the characters' presence were felt through excessive foot stomping and powerfully loud voices, right? So I'm sure we are sorted with this question. Let's try this. I'll give you a minute to solve and then we are going to discuss. So let's try solving this. The play became collectively an enriching experience. Enriching experience means a positive word, right? That gives you a lot of, positive vibes, that, increases your knowledge, right? Because of lighting design. So enriching is a positive word, right? So the experience is good. So that means light design would be positive. You can say proper or positive word will fit in, right? So we can do the elimination. Aberrant is irregular, so this can go out. Apt we can keep, right? Positive, proper. Amiable is lovable. Actually, AMI root stands for friendship. Okay, so there's this word amity, which means friendship. So we can easily eliminate A and C. How can lighting design be lovable, right? And aberrant is irregular. Now the experience is a positive one, so we can't have a negative word that fits in. So apt. So for the first blank, we can reach to this conclusion that B would be the correct answer. Further, let's see. Dash use of sari as a prop. So it's an interesting use again. Why? Because we are seeing that the idea is going in the positive direction, right? So it's an enriching experience. So whatever the team has done would be creating impact and would be positive. So arcane, again, easy to eliminate. Mysterious. So how can mysterious, how can you use a prop in a mysterious way? People would not understand, so it would not be a positive experience. So this can go out. So this is easy, where process of elimination helps. Immaculate is perfect without any mistake, or we can also call it flawless, whatever suits you, right? So we can pick F for this blank, right? And above all, the total dash of every individual entity to the larger idea in focus, right? So total what? So everything came together, right? And all the total. So can you see above all the total dash of every individual? So there were small elements and that created one larger idea, right? So the ideas merged well, right? So total merging. So that's what our predicted word would be, merging of ideas. So affection is love. This we can very easily eliminate, right? Sublimation is when ideas pour in together, so when they become one. So we can keep this. Castigation is scolding. So I also goes out. So H will be for this blank. So we will have B, F, H as the right answers. Now you can read the entire statement together so that you know that the ideas are fitting together. The play became collectively. Can you see there's this word collectively, where it was an enriching experience because lighting design was proper. Sari was very interestingly used as a prop. What is a prop? Property. So you must have seen while people dance, they might use a circle, or they might use certain ropes just to create impact. And above all, every little factor came together to create a bigger impact. So that's what the sentence is trying to say. I hope we are sorted. So let's move to the next question. I'll give you a minute. Please try this and then we are going to discuss. So I'm sure you've tried. So let's discuss it together. Ravish, the owner of a famous tea shop. Can you see this entire information is surrounded by comma? So this we do when we talk about unnecessary information. I know I'm slightly digressing, but then this is something important, and you should know any information which doesn't impact the flow of ideas is surrounded by comma on both the sides. This is one use of comma. right? So you surround commas on both the sides. Can you say there's a comma here and there's a comma here? So you can do without this information. This is an additional information. So at times, there would be a lot of chunk in the statement that might just unnecessarily impact your flow of understanding. So you should know this rule, right? Said that he sources his ingredients. Ingredients are the things that you need to make a recipe from the deep forest of Palakkad. So can you see, said that he resources from that, and but also, so he doesn't get, I mean, deep forests is up कहीं बहुत इन इनर प्लेसेस से जाकर अपना रिसोर्स ला रहे हो क्योंकि टी शॉप है. बट ऑल्सो, बट का मतलब अब हमारा ट्रांजिशन आ गया. बट ऑल्सो कहाँ से आप कर सकते हो, जहाँ पे आप डीप फॉरेस्ट पे नहीं जा रहे हो, यानी कि आप इजीली एक्सेसिबल प्लेस से अपने इंग्रेडिएंट्स को ले रहे हो. तो मैं लिख सकती हूँ इजीली एक्सेसिबल, राइट, जैसा मुझे आइडिया समझ में आता है. राइट, अब हम ऑप्शंस देखेंगे. सेक्युलर होता है वेयर ऑल द रिलीजन्स आर कंसिडर्ड इक्वल. I'll write this for you. सो दिस गोज आउट. लोकली आप रख सकते हो क्योंकि इजीली एक्सेसिबल के आइडिया से आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. तो डीप फॉरेस्ट नहीं जा रहे, आपको आसानी से आसपास मिल रहा है, सो वी कैन कीप इट, राइट. एंड ग्रैनुलर इज इन अ पार्टिकल फॉर्म. तो बी विल बी द बेस्ट मैच. अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. Unsurprisingly, that means something we should not be surprised of. He is also a dash of the various plants, herbs, and among others that constitute his famous tea's ingredients. So herbs के साथ herbs जैसा कुछ यहाँ पर नहीं हमें समझ में आता. So let's see. So diatribe is something which is bad. So this goes out. Effluent waste होता है, राइट, ये तो इजीली एलिमिनेट हो जाएगा. सक्लेंट्स होते हैं हर्ब्स जैसे छोटे प्लांट्स, तो हर्ब्स के साथ सक्लेंट्स विल फिट इन, तो आई को आप यहाँ पे फिट कर सकते हो. अब क्योंकि उसको पता है उसके इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं और उसकी फेमस टी इंग्रेडिएंट्स है, तो यानी कि उसको एक्सपर्टीज है, उसको नॉलेज है. ही इज अवेयर, राइट, मैं ऐसा कह सकती हूँ अवेयर, या ही इज एन एक्सपर्ट. सो अगर आप देखोगे कनोइजर का मतलब होता है एक एक्सपर्ट होना. जैसे आप देखते हैं कि इफ यू नो दैट व्हेन योर मदर buys fabric, or she goes to buy silk sari, and then by just touching the sari she would let you know that this is a fine fabric or this is not. So or people who would taste wine, they would tell you that what sort of quality the wine has got. That's expertise. Or you must have seen master chef. So whenever the the judges or the main chefs who are testing the candidates, whenever they would taste the food, they would get into a lot of details. They would just not purely say food is good or bad. So connoisseur will uh, be an apt choice. We can keep this. Ally is a supporter, right? So allied forces, right? So we say allied forces. So supporting forces. So ally will not be a match. Neighbor, of course, will. He's a neighbor of various plants. That doesn't make sense, right? So for the second blank, we can put D as an answer. So Ravish, the owner of a famous tea shop, he sources his ingredients from deep forest, but he gets it locally also. And unsurprisingly, because he know what sort of ingredients would be needed, so he's an expert. He's a connoisseur of various plants and herbs, and herbs and succulents, right? So which make constitute, that constitute means that are a part of. I'll write this also for you. Part of his famous teas ingredients, right? So I hope you are sorted. So let's move to the next question. Please try this. I'll give you a minute to solve and then we are going to discuss it. So let's try this. The orthodox leaders and their dash. So we talk about orthodox. Orthodox means people who have their conventional viewpoints, right? Conventional. That means who have their ideas and they would not change. And their dash, despoil the dash fun of Valentine's Day celebrants, right? So and their tribe बोल सकते हैं, right? And their group बोल सकते हो, right? So पहला यहाँ तक decode कर लिया. So let's see, conundrum. So what do we mean by the word conundrum? Conundrum means basically what? Conundrum is a puzzle, right? So this will not fit in, this goes out. When we talk about consonants, this is the face or appearance. So this will also not fit in. So these are two blanks that can be easily, these are two answer choices that will not fit in the blank, and ilk will be the group or the tribe. So that's how we can fit ilk in the first blank. I know the choices of words are difficult here, so you need to know the words, right? Despoil the dash fun of Valentine Day celebrants. So what sort of a fun? It's really a positive word, right? So copious is sufficient. So sufficient fun to nahi, this will not fit in the idea. Innocent we can keep, and convoluted means complex. So even this choice can get eliminated. So for the second blank, we can take E as the answer and even impose their dash ideas upon them. So their मतलब जो उनके नेगेटिव आइडियाज हैं क्योंकि वो ऑर्थोडॉक्स हैं और फन को स्पॉइल कर रहे हैं. सो कंसिलेटरी इज, कंसिलेटरी मतलब जहाँ पे आप इंटीग्रेट करते हो आइडियाज को या अग्रीमेंट पर लाते हो, राइट? कंसिलिएशन का मतलब अग्रीमेंट होता है, तो अग्रीमेंट तो नहीं हो रहा, right? What is construing? Construing is integrating, so this also will go out. So we can go for H, which means something which is too intimidating or negative. So H will be the right choice for this blank. Now I'll give you a minute, please read this and see whether you can get the essence of the discussion, which is very important. Don't bypass this step, because then it will just give you a double check that your answers that you have picked are correct. So the orthodox leader and their tribe despoil the innocent fun of Valentine's Day celebrants, and even they do what is अपने negative ideas भी या puritanical ideas भी impose कर देते हैं उन पर, right? उन पे थोप देते हैं, right? So I hope it is clear to everybody. So let's move to the next question. I'll give you a minute, please read it, and then we are going to discuss it together. Try it. So let's discuss. We are all caught up in dash methods and routines and constant negotiations. मतलब regular, right? Constant negotiation or routine or and transitional. So it would be regular methods, right? So this is an easy one we can pick up. Nincompoop means an idiot. So this goes out. Monotonous is regular. We can keep. Boisterous is loud, right? So we will have B as an answer. Only the scale differs, so everybody is doing things in monotony as a routine, but the variation would be different. And sometimes trivial means small. Small acquire the power, so small efforts acquire the power, right? So we can say trivial means small efforts, so efforts ke liye persuades we can keep. Debacle is something which goes wrong, right? So in a negative way, right? Acme is a peak. So we can definitely pick persuade as an answer. To transform the dash into revelatory. So transform something which is normal, right? Regular into powerful. तो अगर हम हमेशा constant regularity में या monotony में busy रहते हैं, पर अगर हम छोटे efforts भी करें तो उनमें भी कई बार इतनी power होती है कि आपके regular efforts को revelatory कर देती हैं, यानी transformational कर देती हैं. Transform means change. Right, so vociferous is loud. This can be eliminated. Thespian, what would Thespian means, do we know the meaning of thespian, everybody? Just think of it. Thespian is dramatic, right? So this also goes out. So dramatic would not also fit in. So mundane will fit in. So I will be the right choice. Quickly take 30 seconds and see whether the entire idea makes sense to you. And then we are going to proceed further. So let's move to the next question. Let's try this. So let's try this. Watching the captain play with intensity, few can summon up. Summon up means call up, right? So it's just that a reprimand would be to, scold. So that goes, that doesn't fit in. And glisten is shine. So that will also not fit in. So summon up is also a phrase. So that's what instantaneously came up. So call up, right? So we can pick C as an answer. It seems like a dash of the line about the best lacking all conviction and worst being full of passionate intensity. So we can, just wait here because let the entire idea make sense, and then picking up the right answer for second blank would be the correct approach. So the when the elements dash together, the best have both convection and intensity. So when the elements combine together, so this is an easy one, right? So there is no pressure that we should, go in the serial order. So here, combine together, work together would be the best match. So adept is skillful, right? So what we can do is we can pick I for this blank, and then now we can come to the second one. So it seems like the dash of line about the best lacking all convection and the worst. So they're playing with such intensity, so it would be like a refusal of the line, right? Rejecting of the idea. So rejecting or refusal will fit in the blank, and reputation would be the best match. So C, E, I would be the final answers. So just read it once and see whether you are able to connect the entire statement together and there's a common thread of ideas floating. Let's try the next question. So I'll give you a minute. Please try this and then we are going to discuss it together. So let's do the discussion. The state cannot dash between protecting freedom of expression and preserving law and order. So state cannot, pick between. That's how you can, predict the word. Deny would be reject. So reject कैसे करेगा between, right? So it has to decide between, right? So recluse is a person who stays aloof. That means doesn't mix up well. So choose will be the best blank, right? So it also matches with the predicted word. This is the core message of the Supreme Court command, right? So command we can fit in here. So that's exactly what we are getting. So this was an easy one. Staying the notifications and decisions of four states to prohibit the screening of the film. Prohibit is to stop, and dash them to ensure that law and order is maintained during its exhibition, and direct them. So what will Supreme Court give? A direction, give an order, right? So direct or order. So we have directing, fitting in, permeate is to pass through, and recline is relax. So G will be the right match. So G, E, and B for the first blank. You can read the entire paragraph to see whether the ideas are flowing together and you can connect well with the discussion. So let's try the next question. I'll give you a minute. Please try this and then we are going to discuss. So let's try. The uses of threat and violence and other forms of what? Other forms of negative thing also, right? Because threat and violence, so it would be a negative thing. So valor is bravery, so it will not be the right match. And then serendipity is secret, secretly done something. So intimidation is किसी को डराना, so A would be the right match. Cannot give the state the dash a reason to dash fundamental freedom by voicing apprehensions and invoking its power to maintain peace. So we are going to pick the third blank first to solve. So give the state, cannot give the state dash and reason to dash फंडामेंटल स्टाइफल मतलब रोकना या आप उसको पावर नहीं देता, राइट? सो स्टाइफल का मतलब होगा कि आप दबा नहीं सकते आवाज को. So engender is to cause, scrutinize is to observe carefully. So clearly, I will be the best match here. Now coming to the second blank. So we'll see, cannot give the state the power, right? Oblique reason. So E would be fitting in here. So the correct answer is going to be E for the second blank, right? So this brings us to an end of the discussion. Here are few suggestions that you need to keep in mind. Stay consistent, right? Vocabulary is a regular continuous process, so one day if you're going to put an effort and next day you're not going to learn, this is not going to make things work right for you. Please maintain a vocabulary journal. I'm sure today also you must have encountered a lot of new words which you didn't know, so it's better to write them and learn those words, right? And know the word entirely. So I keep on emphasizing the idea, don't make a half-hearted effort, right? That really bothers. So people who are successful, they give their heart and soul and they leave no stone unturned. So this is something which is important. Just for the sake of doing it, if you're going to learn, then you are not going to have a, one is long term retention. That's of course one major problem and hurdle, and second also, that's not good for our overall personality development. So it's better that whatever we do, we should do it effectively and we should see the output coming, right? So these are few suggestions. Hope you really enjoyed this session. To watch the space for more exciting videos and help us spread the word. Take care and don't forget, consistency is the key. All the best. Thank you.